Need like theme music.
Here I go. It's your theme music. This is the song you wanted me to play, right?
No, it's Zanzibar, but that one's fine.
Yeah, I love Zanzibar.
Yeah, Bird, can't go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
Yeah, that was from a gig we did in
And when you see the moon reflected on a still black sea, you might forget about what used to be. The moon make every day. You might decide you want to stay. And if that romance is your concern, you may never return from the golden sands of Zanzibar.
Hey.
Oh. What's kicking you over to Can't Buy Me Love?
And see how it says Can't Buy Me Love up at the top? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. Give you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. I give you all I've got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, what I got I'll give to you. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. Oh, say you don't need no diamond rings. I'll be satisfied. Tell me you want the kind of things money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love.
Yeah.
me to. I may not have a lot to give, but I gotta give to you. 'Cause I don't care too much for money, money, it can't buy me love. Can't buy me love, everybody tells me so. Can't buy me love, no, no, no. Oh, say you don't need no diamond rings, I'll be satisfied. Tell me you want the kind of things money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much for money, money. You know, it can't buy me love. I said, I don't care. No, I don't care too much for money. Oh, I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love.
Yeah. Oh, I love that arrangement.
Thanks.
Fantastic. I love it. Love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friend and featured guest of the day is Kristin Korb. Yay. Kristin Korb
Yeah.
from across the planet.
Yeah. Just a few time zones away.
Where are you exactly?
I'm just north of Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm one of the
North.
birds. Yeah. So
Ellen-
about a half an hour from the airport.
Okay. I have to just butt in here. Alan Goldman said, but money can buy you love.
Like Goldman. Of course.
Oh, Alan.
Hi, Alan. So that arrangement actually was inspired by being at Alan's house.
Oh,
One of those, it was like a Monday night jam he had at his place, and there's an arrangement in the book, but it's like just a regular swinging straight down the middle arrangement, and it happened to be on one of the visits that we made over there, and was a part of that hang, and I was like, ah, this is really fun. I think I could do something with it. It's just a little different, a little more me, but it's really, that's where the inspiration.
I love the extension of money. I really like things like that. That it's just like, ooh, I love that. Christina Zeitz, she said that's satisfaction, not love. To Alan. Yes, Christina, and probably we could say other things too.
Hi, Christina.
So, and I obviously it's evening, but I'm just curious, is the weather cold there? Is it a colder climate?
Yeah, it's kind of like Seattle with a cold.
Okay.
I refer to it as that. I think, what is it today? Today the weather was, it's a little. Today was pretty rainy. Fahrenheit. It was, for those in the Celsius world, it's 7 degrees right now, or 45 degrees. So
Ooh.
for those in LA, it's a little colder than you're used to.
Yeah.
We've had some nice days. If we can get up to, around 70, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
We don't have air conditioning here for the most part. So you don't have to worry about things being over air conditioned. But if it gets too warm, then, you're really miserable because there's not a lot of fans or AC running around. So
Yeah. How long have you been there now?
it'll be 10 years this summer. I know. It's like, where did that time go?
Really, it feels like yesterday that you were just working around town here,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank
except for
you.
when I look at all the young musicians that are coming up doing great things, and I'm like, well, they're not former students of mine. When did they come through school? I couldn't have been gone that long. And it's like, yeah.
I know. By the way, John Prue says, miss you and hello.
Oh, I miss you, John. Oh my gosh. Every once in a while, we have to play through some of his arrangements just to, like, oh.
So
Love his-
yeah, I know the yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting growing older, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I mean, it's like I was so used to being like one of the young sprouts, for so long.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
all of a sudden, it's like, um, my students are out in the world and doing awesome, awesome things.
yeah.
And it's like, I can't pretend to be that young one anymore. But I'm okay with that. I think that's, it's nice to kind of be in that in between zone.
Yeah. Well, I think also a good life, which you've been having, you've been having work and you have a beautiful husband and, it's the things that make us happy and who we are. I think when you have that over and over again, that growing old doesn't look so bad, it's like, it's all good, right?
Yeah.
And you seem to get more mature. Notice I said seem.
Oh, come on. I find that I care less about what other people think.
Oh, definitely. I love that about growing older. Really love that. Yeah.
That is one of the coolest things,
Yeah.
just to do music that I find interesting and not thinking as much about, what other people may like.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's stuff that just amuses me. And, if the story is good, then I'm in. And, I don't feel like I have to be so committed to things unless I really, I can explore a possibility. And if it doesn't seem to go somewhere, I don't like, I have to force it to work or
Yeah.
try to make something else out of it. I can put it away and come back and visit it another time. And, just know that nothing is really static.
Yeah.
There's open to possibility. And, I'd rather dig into things and get a little deeper into what I'm doing rather than trying to make sure I can play super, super fast or,
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically going with the flow, right? Instead of resisting or forcing. Yeah, I'm doing the same kind of things with many, many different things, that seems to reflect in different areas of my life. So I really like that feeling too. So you just released, or are you releasing a new record, or you just released it?
It's, well, of course, with the times changing and all that, we've got like it's a couple months length project. So we started with a single, Power of Love. And then we released the kind of the pop album called What If. So it's my take on a bunch of pop tunes. And then we had the single I Surrender Dear come out the 23rd of April. And then Why Not?
Wait, are you speaking of singles from that, or?
Yeah, I'm doing, there's like single, CD, and then single, and then, well, digital release, but then it'll be a double disc. In fact,
so the single after the CD was released, or that's from the CD also?
Yeah. Hey, Morton, would you mind grabbing me one of those discs? I forgot to bring it over.
So interesting. And what's really interesting to me is that a lot of us, it's definitely a time that a lot of us are going to the old music, the old pop music. Me too. Judy Wexler did one. There's a lot of people. It's not just, this few of us. There's a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of thinking about, I guess maybe in some ways being a little more retrospective too or introspective about, what music have we loved over the years.
Hi, Morton.
Thank you.
We might talk to Morton later because he's cool.
He's around. But thinking about like, music that we just love and not,
Yeah.
why not? Why
Yeah.
not? So, but yeah, this is actually going to be a double disc. It's or it is a double disc. So it's like the What If is the
Great
pop
picture,
side.
by the way.
Thank you, Sophia Barfel from.
Is this What If? Is that the one Mark Murphy did?
No, I just called it What If. It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's and then if you flip it around, then
Oh,
it's not.
cool.
Yeah, my friend Susanna Bentz, she's really amazing with marketing and stuff, and so over many glasses of red wine, we've talked about lovely dinners, and we talked about, because I had basically like 7 tunes. I had 14 songs that I've been doing for a while and playing around with and all that, and it really had 2 separate tracks. There was kind of like the pop tune track, and then there was more like the swing mainstream stuff that I normally gravitate to, which is just really fun. And I mean, I have to concentrate and work hard and give it a lot of focus, but it feels a lot easier comparatively. It's a lot more intuitive, I think, for me in that way. So we decided to split it into 2 separate things. And so when you do it as a digital release, it doesn't really matter when you press. And then I thought with 14 tracks, then it would be one nice little package. So those that still have CD players and want to do that can
Talking about throwing things away, I always go in my garage and look at the CDs, which takes up a good portion of the garage. And, I know I'm keeping them because I go to Japan still, and that's really part of my money when I go to Japan, selling CDs, because it still happens. But it's I'm this close to throwing them out. It's like I don't really want to throw them out, but oh my God, just like takes up so much space.
Yeah. Well, and when we travel, I mean, I like the young people that are interested in music, they don't have CD players. Their computers don't have them. It's all digital platforms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can send them a single every once in a while, they seem to be a lot happier with that than having to, go through a full recording, because they don't really listen to full albums in general.
Right. I definitely want to hear your single. This, I don't know if you knew this, but me too. This year, I put out 4 singles. 3 of them were from my upcoming record. And I also made iMovies with them. And it was so much fun. So it's a little music video. And I really like making the movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I saw the stuff on a couple of those on your website. And I was wondering how you maneuvered that. Cause I was like, I mean, for me, like we're working on a video for The Power of Love, but I got a little excited. So yeah, I ended up writing some 4-part female harmonies at the end of the, it's the Huey Lewis and the News, The Power of Love.
Okay. Great song.
But almost kind of like Peel Me a Grape sort of.
Yeah.
But like at the end, it really needed some background vocals. So I wrote these, sang them, and then I got thinking, on one of our forest walks on that side of the house is the forest. And, we just walk, and all of a sudden the ideas start going. I'm like, well, what if we made a video where we start with just me and the band? And, for me, I remember with when the pandemic hit and everybody's staying home and the schools, you don't have those final concerts of the year. You're missing all that stuff. Yeah. And for me, like the Pops concert at the end of the year when I was in high school, I mean, that was like the coolest concert of the year. It was so much fun. And being graduating from high school in the 80s, Huey Lewis and the News was a big part of that. So I thought, well, what if I just throw it out there on Facebook and see if anybody's interested? And we had over 100 submissions. So people recorded their, them singing one of the 4 vocal parts for the background.
Oh.
We had people from all over the world.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Morton, how do we do this? How do we make a video out of it? So it's a little more than what our technical ability levels can deal with. But luckily we have a friend who's a filmmaker. So he's working on assembling all that. And so
That's a great idea.
We're going to probably do some extra filming of me and the guys and have some kind of like a little storyline through it. So
I love that. That's really good. That's a step up from what I did. I I gathered photos from the web and in the emotion that the song was in, and then I went into iTunes, with the song that I recorded, and then arranged all these pictures in an order and timing, and I enjoyed it a lot. I loved the process, but I'm definitely kind of a baby at
that's
it.
super cool. Was that like through iMovie or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. How hip is that?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I can make a cookbook, but doing video stuff.
But
makes it
iMovie's easy. It's very user friendly. It really is. It's not, you can really, I'm the queen of jury rigging, I remember when I first started on computers, I jumped into it without knowing a lot. I had a guide, but she was an interesting guide. It was like, if you want to walk across the room, she would tell you to walk this way and 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 this way, So
man.
she had a lot of like too much information, but I basically just jumped in and so I kind of was missing some of the basics, So, but I really do think iMovie is pretty easy. There's a few things that you want to, that you might want to do, but if you get excited like you did, I think that's a step up,
Well, and I think doing 100, trying to figure out how to fully acknowledge and embrace and enjoy all those beautiful faces that are singing, the power of love. And, I want to be able to have it so it's not like just some little checkerboard thing where you can't see any faces, so there's got to be something within that for who comes out when and how those interplay with each other. So
very cool. I can't wait to see the end result.
Me too. It'll probably be June before that's done.
Okay. Let me just do something here. Okay. John, this is non sequitur, but John says hi to Morton. He also said he tends to appreciate lyrics more as he gets older. And Pinky Winters says, great to see you.
Oh, Pinky! I love Pinky Winters.
I love Pinky Winters too. She's like the jazz broad to me. That's my nickname for her, the jazz broad. Speaking of jazz broads, Pinky, I wish I had thought of bringing you over. Oh, maybe you wouldn't have wanted to go out. But yesterday there was a drive-by birthday party for Flip Man. She turned 100.
How did that go? I submitted a video for her birthday.
Oh,
online
cool.
celebration.
I didn't actually watch the big event last night. I totally spaced it out. I just drove by, brought her a little present, hung out. Actually, people were hanging out on the lawn. And
nice.
so I saw a few people. Peter Erskine was there, and Chuck Berghofer and his wife, and let's see, Kendall Kay and his wife, and a few people.
Nice.
Oh, John Clayton came by, and I was just there for like the last half hour or something, But anyway, it was really. Flip she's still, very clear-headed. Her body's definitely old, but she's very clear-headed.
She's 100.
100.
I mean, just the fact that she's been tap dancing for so many years and doing her stuff. I mean, wow. I mean, she's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just her ability to just keep that energy all those years. And I'd heard that she didn't stop dancing until recently.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So, yeah, she is an absolute treasure.
Yeah, really, really amazing. Gee, can we see one of your singles?
That would be on Well, the Power of Love, I think it's up on YouTube. That should all be, because YouTube Music, they just kind of.
So you're actually doing a new video of Power of Love. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing it's going to be, I think they just have it as a sound file up. Yeah, with the cover.
Hey, Christopher here from
this
Music
guy.
Review with 3 quick reasons to
Who
sign.
is
He is on a lot of, he's puts his ads on a lot of stuff.
This is Liza again on harmonica.
Great player.
Power of love,
Yeah.
it's a curious thing. Makes one man weep and another man sing. And change our heart to a little white dove. More than a feeling. That's the power of love. Tougher than diamonds, rich like cream, stronger and harder than a bad girl's dream. Makes a bad one good, makes a wrong one right. The power of love to keep you home at night. It don't take money and it don't take fame. Don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. First time you feel it, it might make you sad. Next time you feel it, it might make you mad. But you'll be glad, baby, when you're found. That's the power of love that makes the world go round. It don't take money and it don't take fame. Don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. They say that all in love is fair. Yeah, but you don't care. You'll know what to do when it gets a hold of you. And with a little help from above, you will feel the power of love. Can you feel the power of love? Oh, it don't take money and it don't take fame. Don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's tougher than diamonds and stronger than steel, but you won't feel nothing until you feel the power of love. Can you feel that power of love? Can you feel the power of love?
cool. That's really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't wait to, well, I've been listening to it. Morton did all the mixing for the background vocals with those 100 voices. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious. What did I want to ask you? I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you. What do you think about how we are sharing the cuts, the music, this CDs, the stuff that we work so hard and put so much money and time into? What do you think of how we're sharing on social media? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, everything feels so distant right now. Like we can't actually necessarily see our audiences. We're live streaming, or we're putting things out digitally, and or sending stuff out to radio stations, which, I mean, it feels very disconnected in a lot of ways. I mean, I hope it connects with people. And, I find myself, looking on the, how many listeners did we have this last week, or how, is anybody getting it? Did it make a playlist? Did it, so it feels mostly like it's just advertising. Like the idea of actually making any money at all off it is like not unless and I know there are a lot of people that love the music. I mean, here's where I get where I feel very conflicted, because I want everyone to be able to enjoy the music. I know how powerful music can be in touching lives, and especially right now with this pandemic and everything, and when people have been isolated and separated from others, the music may be the only thing that keeps them hanging on, or gives them hope, or gives them something to look forward to. So in that way, I want to make sure that my music is as accessible to everybody as it can be. On the other hand, it costs money to make that music. I still have to pay for the mechanical rights, because I can write my own stuff, and I have in the past, but these two projects are more, my arranging side rather than composing. So, we have to pay the mechanicals for all that. And that's not exactly cheap. So there's that. We did press CDs. Of course, if people want that, they have to buy that. But, you still have to pay for mechanicals if you're releasing digitally. And then if you want to do the video, then there's also sync licensing, which is a whole other, that's even more expensive. So yeah, I mean, if there have been some really nice, lovely surprises come through my Bandcamp account, where people have just donated some money, or through PayPal, people will donate some cash towards, the next project, or continuing the ability to get it out to people. And I really appreciate that. But I do think it's going to be really hard for us all to continue to make music if it's all going out for free.
Yeah. Roland, mechanical licenses are licensing that the composer and publishers get for the privilege of us using it on a record, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Roland just bought Power of Love.
Thank you.
So he's a supporter. But yeah, it's I mean, you're basically saying what I think too, and a lot of people. And I remember speaking to a few people over the years, and they were really opposed to being on Spotify. Which Spotify is just, it's just over the years, when you look at what Spotify pays you for the song, it's like, who the hell is getting the rest of the money for that? I'm getting 0.001 for my song. Who's getting the rest? And why? It's so weird. The way that they have mapped that out is really bizarre to me. But
there's also venues and festivals and things like that. They want to see how many followers you have.
Yeah.
And if you don't have many followers or people that are listening to your music, then they're not as keen to hire you. So it's this weird double-edged, you kind of need to be there so people can hear what you do. Even musicians here, if you want to put together a set list or things for them to listen to. I mean, you can always do a Dropbox with the MP3 files, or you make a playlist on Spotify and you just send them a link to the playlist. Because everybody here has Spotify.
I've never heard of doing that, but that's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, just as like an educational tool. I mean, you can totally use it, and the more playlists you get on, then the more listeners you have. So that's, I still haven't seen anything financially beneficial out of it, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we're kind of operating on faith by putting it out there, and how we're doing it. And you're right about I mean, it seems like it's the people who, like Roland, he went and bought something. So, but it seems like we're dependent on people like going out of their way and doing Bandcamp. And I remember one time at the Blue Whale, quite a while ago, John DeVersa, he had a trio that he played with. I forget the name of it. It was really cool. Trumpet player. Let's see, he and maybe violin. I can't remember the name of them. But anyway, what they did was they had a tip jar out, and they literally gave everybody a CD in the room. They said, "We want you to have this music. If you want to put some money in the tip jar, great." And I did that several times afterwards, because I was kind of impressed with that, because it both serves the purpose of getting your music into the hands of people, and you're not going to make as much money if you sold all those CDs, but still, you can make some money. And so I think it's heading more and more like that, right? I mean, especially right now, like people putting out streaming shows, and there are those that you have to pay for up front, but there's a lot of them that you don't, that just say, if what would you like to donate?
Yeah. Right? And we're doing that on the 15th of May. We're going to do one from here in the living room.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, with Magnus Stewart on piano and Snorre Kirk on drums. It'll be 7 p.m. Central European time, which is 10 a.m. West Coast.
May 15th, eh? That's like a Saturday.
It is.
Cool.
People where they can have consider it your Saturday brunch, your Saturday lunch, your happy hour, depending on where you live, or dinner time.
May 15th, 10 a.m. Kristin. And how do people? Huh?
It'll be 1 hour, and
do people go to your page, or or Zoom, or what?
I think we're going to do it on YouTube. We've been looking at what the extra costs are if we stream it both on Facebook. Are we doing both? Yeah. Okay. I've just heard from the manager that we will be on both Facebook and YouTube. So there you go. So it'll be on my artist page, Kristin Korb Artist, with Facebook. So I'll have links and stuff up for that. Yeah. So that will be the setup of, pay what you care to. I will be paying the guys regardless of what comes in the door or not, because they've got small children that need to be fed.
I do that too.
So, we got to do that. Yeah. If people want to help take care of the guys, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And, if there's enough that they can be covered first, and then we can start paying for the cameras and things that we bought to do this. That would be wonderful.
Do you have a big space?
It's an open room. We got a good piano. We've got we'll move a couch and stuff like that to give a little more room, but it's open enough to have a little rehearsal space and all that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I find when we're talking about like just putting stuff out there for free, one of the things it's been really interesting because like in doing even concerts like in Sweden where, they'll be looking through the CDs and they go, "Oh, is this on Spotify?" Because they
Jeez.
Like, yes, it is, but the cookbook is not on Spotify. So,
So I didn't know you made a cookbook.
We made a cookbook, and this is something that we've been working on this for a few years in general. I married into two amazing bonus kids who are young adults now and out on their own. And, we started getting the text messages for, "Hey, Kristin, how do you make that salad dressing?" Or, "Dad, how do you make this Danish dish?"
Oh, yeah.
We decided that we started with, like trying to do a PowerPoint thing to make a book. And I didn't like the formatting. And then we tried something else that was online and I didn't like the way that was looking. And then when everything shut down, I thought, well, I'm going to learn Adobe InDesign, the software people use to actually make books.
Yeah.
And I got a template for a cookbook and I just went nuts, and we've been taking pictures, and the kids got it as their Christmas present for, yeah. So, but it's really all the dishes that they've loved over the last 10 years.
Oh.
And people that have come through our house that have been guests, and have enjoyed many meals with us. It's all those things. So it's loads of salads. It's really good winter soups. It's there's a Danish section. So if you want to find out about what the Danish traditions are, we got a little bit of that. We've got, because of all my years in Southern California, we've got kind of the fiesta section. We've got, we also really love, our version of like Indian inspired food. And so we've got like stuff that you can make relatively easily. I mean, that one's, some of those are a little more intensive.
Wow. All that in that little book. Can you open it up a little?
Yeah. It's called Something to Celebrate by Kristin Korb and Morton Stove. Rainbow.
Oh, how cute, Martin, with a hot dog or something, or
yes, it's a sausage, because this is what you do in the summer. People come over and you light up the barbecuer and you have a little beverage and a little, it could be iced tea, and sausages and parties. And the kids have always been really active with us in making things, or, as we'd have dinner and, well, what do you think? What's the rating out of 5 stars? What do we need to do to change it? And talking about, spicing and things like that. So we've got a thing of kitchen gear because we love our toys.
Oh.
Spiralizer.
Oh, I love spiralizer.
Yeah. Love the spiralizer.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff that's like super usable. We use this stuff all the time. We use this cookbook like crazy all the time.
Really?
So, oh yeah, it's how we eat. And, it's very easy for us to like do a meal and go, oh yeah, we just did 4 things from the cookbook. It's just easy. For those that it's all in English, because I wasn't going to write it in Danish, but for those that look up recipes and go like, oh yeah, it's cups versus grams.
Yeah.
And, one of those, because that was one of the things when I moved here, it was so frustrating. Because like I had to keep looking on, and my hands are covered in flour or whatever, and there's like, how much is that? Or a stick of butter in the U.S. is you don't find that here. So what is that? So I've got baking temperatures, I've got liquids, cups to grams, butter measurements. We've got a glossary if you want to look up all the Danish and English equivalents for every ingredient in the book.
Wow.
We have brunch all day long.
Yeah.
Delicious granola to some savory things, and and like little pictures of family stuff. Like
that is so nice.
Like when it's your birthday in Denmark, you get a little Danish flag. and usually there's nice, wonderful foods made for you. So, and my parents visited one summer, so we made Benedict.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's a little bit of family pictures. It's a little bit of friends visiting. It's some tips and tricks. You would love this salad.
Is that beets?
It's beets and carrots with like lemon juice and garlic and a little white wine vinegar and parsley and mint and pistachios.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good, especially now because I'm eating no meats and no fish, no meats, just vegetables and fruit, basically.
Okay. Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There's some really good soups and yeah. Oh, kale with butternut squash. And yeah, that's a nummy. There's lots of, I'm the salad ninja here at home. So there's, I went nuts on the salads. But yeah, we've got snacks, some dips. I noticed like when I moved here, like we used to go to Carousel, the Lebanese restaurant in Glendale, and we'd get the mahamara. Have you tried that before?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's like roasted red peppers and walnuts and cumin and pomegranate molasses, and so it's kind of like spicy and a little chili in there. So it's like spicy and sweet and just this bright red, wonderful dip. And
oh my God, sounds great.
I looked through so many recipes and ended up kind of mishmashing a few together to make my own thing that tasted, it's pretty close to what you can get at Carousel.
Yeah.
There. So that's in here. We've got pastas and pizza, but also, another one there's sweet potato noodles with a cashew sauce. So instead of an Alfredo, you soak cashews you soak cashew, like a cup of cashews, you soak them for an hour or two to soften them up, drain the water, put your cashews in a blender with a clove of garlic, a little water, touch of salt, blend it until it's like super creamy. And then you saute your sweet potato noodles, put a little spinach in there, your sauce, top it with some fresh basil. Oh, it is like
wow.
Food. Oh yeah. So it's not a vegetarian book, but there are quite a few dishes that are celebrating all things veg.
That sounds incredible. That's really intriguing. The nuts with the sweet potatoes, interesting.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's
but that is a physical product only, right?
No, we actually we sell it as a digital. We've got it in interactive PDF and as an EPUB. So if it has like for your iDevices, it can, auto correct itself on how to format and drop down menus and links all over the place. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I learned a lot last spring.
I guess so, man, because that's some pretty complicated tech,
Yeah, I watched a lot of tutorials and then went, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just kept trying things until stuff worked.
Yeah, I've worked in Adobe too. Yeah, it's challenging, but the products work so well, but it is challenging to learn.
Yeah. But I'm lucky we have some friends that, I don't do Photoshop. It's way beyond my realm of understanding. But we've got friends that are photographers who came through and kind of looked at the pictures we took and tried to, make things a little more consistent and just checking formatting to make sure it was going to print okay.
I see a new cookbook in my future. That sounds great. It sounds really great.
And the kids have said, it's like really great Laura, she was saying one day, like, it's so nice to have a cookbook where and love all the recipes.
Yeah, it's like having your mom's cookbook or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for it's without all the Cool Whip. Because the Korb family's cookbooks, oh my gosh, they have more chapters. Seriously, there's a Korb family cookbook that is like chapters of cookies chapters of cakes, chapters of salads that have nothing to do with lettuce or kale. They're like those Jello salad, those Midwestern strawberry pretzel salad. That's not
strawberry pretzel.
It's not a salad, but they call it a salad.
Yeah. Because it's a shmush, you shmush it together. I have a bunch of comments on all this, so let me look at this. Yeah, Roland, iTunes, I'm not sure of the percentage, but it's more than Spotify, but it's not a lot. And yeah. Christina said, so is there something that supports the musicians better than Spotify while concerts simply don't exist, like Sonos, Apple Music, Spotify? Is there any difference?
Digital platform wise?
Yeah. Spotify probably, I bet pays the least, the way that they have it set up.
YouTube pays the least.
Huh?
YouTube pays the least.
Oh.
I never even see anything from YouTube. So Spotify is at least better than that.
Yeah, I didn't even know Spotify paid me.
I put my stuff out
YouTube.
through CD Baby. I never see anything from YouTube, but CD Baby distributes to all digital platforms, depending on how you say you want it. But I never see money from YouTube.
Yeah. Chris Barber is here. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
She just bought Power of Love.
Thank you.
And Pinky Winters is looking forward to May 15th.
Yay.
And Sammy Mack said the POL version has color and pizzazz.
Power of Love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, POL. I was thinking, sorry. Sammy says, foodies, good eats, bring families, create memories, and cause conversations. What are those? We're making Pinky hungry. This is a good idea. I have an idea, like, I won't say it in broad general public, but I have an idea somewhat like this. Kristin, how about a bass and singing and cooking workshop?
I do when you play bass.
You know what? Actually,
just a second. What?
You're holding a spatula and playing the bass.
I'm holding a spatula and playing the bass. Yeah.
Are you familiar with Gail Boyd's alternative venues on Facebook?
No,
So Gail Boyd is a manager. She manages John Clayton for years.
Yeah, I know Gail.
Yeah, she's so lovely. Anyway, since the pandemic, every day, what she did was she set up at 2:00. I think it's 2:00 or 2:30, 2:00, I think, for a half hour. She doesn't interview. She like you or me, she would have come on for a half hour in our own room and do whatever we want to do. We can sing, play, we could talk about ourselves, we could whatever for a half hour. So she's been doing that every day, setting that up. And why did I bring that up?
Did somebody cook?
Oh yeah, thank you. So there's a drummer that now I'm wondering if I have the right venue or person who was showing that. Oh no, you know who it is? It's Rie Sakaidy from the Jazz Gallery in New York. She's the artistic director of the Jazz Gallery. She is having Jazz Gallery shows once a week that have 4 artists in them. And one of her artists he's a great drummer and he cooks. So he's playing, and part of the video is him cooking in his kitchen with his daughter. And in fact, I got this great fennel salad, which was amazing, from him. And I think it's really cool. It's just different enough to catch your attention. You really should think about that. It'll be really fun. Cooking with Kristin,
Well, I wouldn't be the first bass player to do that. Nikki Perrott has her Chez Nikki Jams. She did, I think, 5 episodes where she kind of leads one through a a recipe, and then while something's in the oven, she sings and plays a tune, which is great. So
it's great. I mean, anyway, I mean, it's nice. It's good. Let's see. Other than comments like "you're making me hungry." Also Michael Olatuha, the bass player, does cooking classes, and he's managed by Gail. Oh, okay.
Okay. Very cool.
Olatuha. That's probably the pronunciation. Nigerian food. Oh,
Nice.
Huh. Pinky's leaving. Bye, Pinky.
Bye, Pinky.
So, let's see. So I haven't asked any like past history questions of yours. And did you start playing bass when you were really young, or how did all that occur?
I was a guitar player. Well, I mean, just exploring guitar and all that. When I was in elementary school, the Barbara Mandrell show was big. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
And growing up in, between Billings, Montana and Boise, Idaho, there was a lot of country western happening. My dad had a western wear store.
Oh,
in Idaho. And so, yeah, it was one of those shows that we loved. So, and Barbara is the big sister and boss and her siblings around. So like, I thought the guitar would be my thing, and sing and play at family reunions and stuff like that. And then when I was in fifth grade, I did some piano lessons. Fourth grade, I did, violin in the school, but that didn't resonate with me at all. And I wasn't crazy about the teacher. So it was kind of what it was. But then in sixth grade, in the school cafetorium, there was the band and the orchestra and they came through and played, but there was also the East Junior High Mad Jazz Singers. And, the guys had the nice ties and girls had matching dresses and they all had their own microphones and they took solos and this weird scat singing and everybody smiling and having fun. And there was a student band and I was like, I want to play guitar in the band. And my guitar teacher reached out to the choir director and it's like, it's not a guitar, it's a bass guitar. I was like, whatever, I want to be in the band. And once I started, the four fingers, four strings, it's like, I like this a lot. And it just really resonated with me in a completely different way than guitar did. And so, yeah, that choir director, Rob Newbern, East Junior High, he's retired now, but he made such an impact in my life. Drove 5 of us to a jazz camp, drove 12 hours from, Boise, Idaho to Seattle. And
wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I owe him a lot.
That's cool. Last week I was talking to, I don't know if you know Nancy Reed. Do you know her? She's an East Coast person. She plays bass and sings. She's really good player. Mostly electric, but she plays a little acoustic, but mostly electric. And she's a great singer and great bass player. You have to check her out. She's really good. Nancy Reed. And I heard about her through Dave Liebman because he recorded with her. She's kind of old school, straight ahead, great phrasing and beautiful sounding voice, and her bass playing is great. And her husband, Spencer, I forget his last name, but he's an incredible guitar player too. Wow.
Nice.
So yeah, but I know it's nice to know another bass player, singer person, right?
Well, I think at some point there's going to get to be a point where as a bass player, people are going to ask you, well, if you don't sing, it'll be like, well, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? I mean, the music is within you. It's like how you express it, whether it's through your fingers or, singing. It's such a great combination.
Yeah. And Nancy also plays a little guitar. I mean, pretty great, actually. Like she was playing guitar and singing. And, you know, on one of those instruments, you get accomplished in rhythm and time, you know. So on both of these things, she was accomplished and doing different things, you know, like really independently. It was quite impressive, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. So you, is that when basically you got into jazz?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And, you know, living in the choir room before school, after school, during lunch, you know, Mr. Newbern was playing music in the room the whole time, and, you know, all kinds of different things. He had this huge record collection, and you could borrow records. And for my 13th birthday, I got the ultimate stereo system, a record player with the double cassette. So I could record from cassette to cassette.
Oh, yeah.
Tapes. I could go from the records onto cassette. Oh my gosh, it was like, oh. So I was like borrowing records all the time and listening.
Who really turned you on at that time? Listening.
I mean, Manhattan Transfer was really huge because, and also we were doing some of those tunes, like when A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square came out. I mean, he transcribed it, and we sang it, and we did like extra rehearsals on Saturdays before a festival, and we sang in quartets to make sure we had the parts. I mean, it was really so huge. And then just to be able to, you know, sing the part with the recording, you know, and know that you were singing with one of those members and pretend like you're in the group. I mean, it was just, oh, I love that. My first scat solo was to Tuxedo Junction, because we were playing that. So, and of course, playing and singing, and did that. So, I mean, Manhattan Transfer was kind of on my heavy rotation, but also Ella Fitzgerald and Mel Torme, Lambert Hendrickson Ross, a lot of more like choral ensemble stuff, some of the community colleges, Edmonds Community College, and Dave Bardoon's program over at Mount Hood when he had that.
Oh yeah.
Genesis, those guys.
That stuff. Was he was the teacher at that time in Mount Hood. I did a few adjudications, you know, several years. That Mount Hood group was like, what? It's kind of like, remind me of Steve, what's his name near Sunny? Yeah, Steve Zagree. I mean,
yeah, Western.
Wow,
Michigan.
Those people really, really got the quality. Wow, that was amazing. Mount Hood. Whew, yeah.
Yeah, Mount Hood, Edmonds Community College. There's a lot of, I mean, the Northwest is really some great, great, great programs, great teaching, great learning. And they really do a lot of playing the music for the kids too. It's not just, you know, teacher driven. I mean, they really make the kids excited about the music. I mean, there's a reason why there's so many great musicians coming out of there.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the road of Kristin's life.
Oh.
Hi, Mark Isbell. He says hi.
Hi, Mark.
And then I guess college. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I wanted to go to Greeley, Colorado, because
Yeah.
they had a festival every year, and they had probably the closest. We had moved back to Montana at that point when I was in high school, and I wanted to go to Greeley because they had such a huge music program, and they had all kinds of jazz stuff going on, bands and choirs and everything. And I sent in an audition tape on my little cassette tape, and it ended up on a mail plane that crashed in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh my God, you can't write a story about that.
and so like they never got it. And
Oh.
so like, you know, and with my family, I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and, you know, we didn't have the money to, you know, for me to do anything out of state. So it was one of those things that when that financial aid didn't come through, and it looked like it was just going to be just insane to try to go to school there, it didn't work out. So I thought at first that I would just not go to school at all, and I would just work at McDonald's, because that's where I was working on the weekends. Yeah, I was the drive-through girl. And so the college band director, his son was in band with me in high school, and he came through McDonald's and said, school's starting here in a month. What are your plans? I said, I'm just going to work for a year and save my money and then get out of here. I said, well, don't you want to play some music while you're here? I mean, I don't imagine that working at McDonald's is the highlight of your day. I was like, well, you're right. So I says, what if I get you, some financial aid and, get you a couple scholarships, and so it doesn't cost you anything. So I was like the band librarian and stuff in folders. I got keys to more rooms than I probably should have had keys to. And I basically went to school for free between all the scholarships, and then worked 5 jobs on the side, everything from cleaning offices to gigs. And my high school choir director he left his teaching position and became supervisor for music in the schools. And he hired me to teach a boys choir that was the all honors district-wide 4th, 5th, and 6th grade boys. So it was like over 50 of those young sprouts on a Monday after school.
Wow.
So would work with them. And I did my bachelor's for free in music education.
Wow.
So that was, I just even think about like how expensive universities are now. It just wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
But, lived at home for the 4 years, so there was no extra cost on the dorms. And then I went to UC San Diego for my master's.
Oh, okay. All right. Were you there when Rick Helzer was there?
He was at State.
Oh, okay.
I never actually made it to San Diego State. I mean, being in San Diego, I got to know Bill Yeager and those guys and Rick Helzer. But I actually met Rick on a gig where we were just playing. It was after I was out of grad school. And so we played several jobs together over the years in San Diego.
He's a great player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an old friend of mine. He was on my first record. And he did these arrangements that are timeless. Wow. Just really beautiful. And we did a lot of work together back then. And then, there was a long time where we weren't really in communication. Now we're back. And he actually moved back to Fresno.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. That's where he's from originally. So, and he's been doing some concerts there. So that's pretty cool. And I had him on the show like 2 months ago or something. A lot of people from San Diego were, in the audience. It was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he affected a lot of people in a good way,
Yeah. Well, he was teaching theory and I mean, just all the stuff that he did there. I mean, for so many years.
Yeah.
Really.
I want to listen to you again.
Okay.
And it would be fun to have a live thing. Anything that you see here that?
Yeah, Copa would work.
Okay.
Barry Manilow. I don't know if you've heard this one. So there's a story behind this. There's this little island in Denmark called Bornholm, and there's a venue there called Svanekegård. And this woman that books the venue and runs the place, it's so awesome there. It's like band camp for us, because we have these artist quarters where we live, and we have, band dinners, and we have the kids, our Snor and Magnus have kids now. And so the kids are running around, and, we have these wonderful meals. But every year now, Mia requests a song. And the first year it was anything from Mary Poppins. And this was the second request she had. And she wanted Barry Manilow's Copacabana. And a week before the gig, I couldn't think of anything. I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do on this. I just had no idea. And then on some drive where, you just kind of let your mind wander, I thought, okay, this is what's going to happen. And like, this is literally the first performance of it with these guys. We had a rehearsal right before the job. And I was like, I hope this all works. And it's got Carl Martin Almqvist on tenor, who plays, he's a wonderful Swedish saxophonist. plays in the Danish radio big band, Magnus Hjort on piano, and Snorre Kirk on drums.
Cool. Okay. We are ready, and I'm doing it. And
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
that's so funny. It's a waltz. I was thinking maybe it could be a waltz.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair and a dress cut down to there. She would merengue and do the cha-cha. And while she had tried to be a star, Tony always tended bar across the crowded floor. They worked from 8 to 4. They were young and in love with each other. Who could ask for more? At the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. At the Copacabana, music and fashion were always the fashion. At the Copa, she fell in love. His name was Rico. He wore a diamond. He was escorted to his chair. He saw Lola dancing there, and when she finished, he called her over. And Rico went a bit too far. Tony sailed across the bar, and then the punches flew and chairs were smashed in two. There was blood and a single gunshot, but just who shot who? At the Copa.
They're all singing along.
Oh,
The hottest spot north of Havana.
Freaked me out the first time. I was like,
Copacabana, music and passion were always the fashion. At the Copa, she lost her love. Oh, she lost her She was a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in the dress she used to wear, faded feathers in her hair. She sits there, so refined, and drinks herself half alive. She lost her love and she lost her Tony now. She lost her mind at the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. At the Copacabana, music and fashion were always
Cabana. Oh man. Funny. Was some of the words she lost her mind? Is that what happened to Lola?
She lost her love and she lost her mind. I had never like paid any attention to the lyrics before.
Yeah.
Until I started working on the arrangement.
So is it kind of a sad story?
Oh, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. Yeah, it's this young couple. She's a dancer. He's a bartender. And, this guy Rico comes in, and he gets a little handsy. And Tony says, like, none of that, buddy. And then there's a fight that breaks out. And there's this gunshot. Tony dies. And then during the solo section, which would normally be the dance break if you watch Barry Manilow's version, it's this really awkward Copacabana, Copacabana. It's like, so I reharmonized that whole thing. I just thought, well, I'm going to create a whole solo section that's something completely different. But just thinking about like the passage of time and what happens after you've lost your love to violence, and this, letting Carl Martin really play through that. And then it comes down to nothing. And then, it's 30 years later in the same bar, she's still wearing the dress and drinking herself into oblivion, basically.
Wow.
And then everybody sings at the Copa.
I know, that's so weird.
It's like,
that's so weird.
Yeah. But that's the song. So, yeah.
I remember when I heard this great singer who plays ukulele.
Uh-huh.
She did the Bee Gees' "Staying Alive," and she slowed it down, and it was like a great song, but I could never get past listening to the Bee Gees. I was just never into the Bee Gees. Their singing, it just didn't appeal to me, but it was really actually a good song, and just funny.
Well, my hope with that it pays tribute to the original intent of the song.
Yeah.
It's my own thing for sure, but
I like it.
Bastardize it is to bring a new attention to the lyric.
Yeah.
And the story. On the recording, Aaron Servati plays percussion with us. And it
really?
Yeah, he at the time we were doing it, Morton's been doing all the mixing here at home, and we've had, we did the recording in the living room, and then Carl Martin came in and laid some solo tracks. We tried to keep everybody appropriately distanced and all that. And I was talking to Aaron, and he's like, I just made got my studio set up done. And I was like, ooh, I have a song. Would you mind trying it? And it just was perfect what he did on it. It's like all this Afro-Peruvian kind of like hints, because that whole lilt towards the end is kind of Afro-Peruvian. Mm-hmm. So, or my little gringa version of it. But he really brings this nice energy to it, and with the different percussion toys and everything. So I'm really happy with how it turned out.
That's so cool. I have to admit something. While I was listening, I was thinking of Aaron. And the reason is, he's been in my world lately because he's been playing my jam session on drums. Right. But I swear to God, while I was listening, I was thinking of him. And now when you said that, I was like, okay, yeah. But he's a wonderful guy and a wonderful player. And his girlfriend, I don't know if you knew her or know her, Liz.
Yeah.
She's a really good singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when they had started getting together, she was on a gig with him. And I remember Aaron was counting off the tempos, and I got on his case about it. let her pick her tempos. Don't let him tell you what to do.
Yeah.
She's great.
She really is great. Yeah, we had a talk the other day because she's been coming and sitting in at the jam, and I said to her, you should be out singing. You're too good to not be out singing. So, of course there were some head trips going on, which was the reason why she wasn't really out singing. And as usual, really, didn't, those head trips just didn't need to be there,
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
her brother Lewis is a great drummer too.
Oh, really?
Lewis
Oh,
Cole.
Lewis Cole?
Yeah,
That's
there's
her brother?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I know. Isn't it awesome?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, there's all
Huh.
kinds of talent in LA.
Yeah, I have to talk to her about that. I remember seeing him years ago at the Blue Whale, more towards the beginning of the Blue Whale with the singer. He and this very interesting singer had a group. Then they would. Do you remember that at all?
I didn't see them. I know she had mentioned something about Lewis's band with costumes and stuff. I wonder if that might be.
Wonder if I'm just going to look on YouTube while we're talking. Lewis Cole to see if Lewis Cole music and who was?
Hey, Christopher here.
Hey, Christopher. What was her name? She was really interesting, but it was a while ago. I'm not sure if it's his wife or not. Lewis Cole, really good singer. And they did they kind of did an electric thing, and it was really good. Well, I don't know. Might have to go look for it later. Very good singer too, yeah. And I just thought you might know her.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not
Copacabana, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. For me, that's like the whole joy of the What If CD, because it's all these tunes you go like, really? A cover.
What else? What are the songs?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Wow. I think I've heard you do that actually.
I've performed it quite a bit. That was the first request that Mia ever made. And there's a version up on YouTube with Andy Langham on piano and Duncan Moore on drums.
Oh, nice.
It's so much fun. I never thought I'd be doing like Disney covers, but it's such a fun arrangement.
What else?
We've got Mauro Ruiz's arrangement of Don't Let Me Be Lonely Tonight is on there.
Oh, wow.
I know that Kathleen Grace sang a beautiful version of it on Aaron's project that they did for his 50th birthday. That sneak project where he recorded it and didn't know it was his album.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I didn't know about that. That sounds great.
Yeah. Mauro did all the arrangements, and when I was in LA on a previous visit, Aaron had me come and play with him. And we did that song. And I fell in love. James Taylor, what's not to love him?
I know.
And then Mauro arranging it, it's like, and it just fit the set perfectly. So that's on there. Power of Love, of course, is fun. Can't Buy Me Love. I did a cover of Overjoyed, Stevie Wonder, which is
one of the best songs ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I know there's so many people that have recorded it, but I just, it's
a great
song. In my life. It's like, you know what? Nobody sings it like me. So there you go.
No, that's a well-written song too. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And
so
then
and then the last one is This Is My Life, which is known for the Danish people out there. It is not Kim Larsen's This Is My Life. It was Shirley Bassey's version.
Oh.
There's it's just big and feathers and this is my life. Today, tomorrow, lost, but come and find me. It's this.
Oh yeah, man.
You know me. I'm all Vegas and.
Oh yeah, totally.
So there was an arranging challenge in that.
That sounds. It probably had good lyrics, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's got the kind of this dark light thing. So there's this darkness of, funny how a lonely day can make a person say, what good is my life? Funny how a breaking heart can make me start to say, what good is my life? Funny how I seem to think I'll find another dream in my life. Till I look around and see this great big world is part of me and my life.
Oh.
And then it goes into, this is my life.
Oh, cool.
So there's this kind of dark and the light thing, but it was written actually for a song competition in Italy in the early 60s, I think. And Shirley Bassey was living in Italy at the time because she had some tax issues in London. So she's down there, and half of the lyric was originally in Italian and half of it was in English. But I just did it all in the English version. And so like I kept the harmonic structures for the first half, for the dark part. And then the major section was just too, for me, not interesting, and so with the different groove that I put on it, it needed some other little changes to kind of maneuver around with it, and just to give it a little more lift and major 7th suspensions and kind of this, hopeful, this is me, kind of an embracing of, yeah, that stuff still exists and the darkness is there, and you deal with it and you struggle with it, but at the end of the day, this is enough. This is good enough because it's me.
That's nice.
So I really like the message of the song. Steve Nikolai Hansen is a trombone player here in Denmark, and man, he played so beautifully on it, and he's a composer, so like as he's improvising, he's really thinking about like how it all rides under the voice and supports, and yeah,
beautiful.
He does a great job on that.
Dale Boatman, welcome back, Kristin.
Dale Boatman, I miss you.
Gal Jazz misses you. Hey, Mon David is here.
Hey.
He loves Copacabana, Super Cal, I Feel Good, All Blues. We spoke about you, Mon. Yeah. So what do you generally do over there? Do you teach a lot? Do you travel a lot? What do you do more?
Well, I don't really officially teach at all here, which is kind of crazy compared to what I did when I was in LA.
Yeah.
Because I was doing over 30 hours a week when I was in LA. But here, if somebody wants to come by the house and we talk about music or whatever, that's super cool. When we're on the road, I love doing educational outreach. It's really important to me. I just did last month 4 days up at they've got these kind of like pre-conservatory schools. It's like beyond high school, but it's more focused in like a 2-year program. But just music, and then there's like theater department and stuff like that. But I worked with the jazz kids at this Folkhögskolan in Fritjom, Sweden, and we had a great time. Just 4 days of these workshops, and the theme of the workshops was arranging, story-driven arrangements. Because they were playing in these new groups. And so the whole idea was, how do you make an arrangement really looking at the lyric? And each band had 6 hours together to pick a tune, figure out what their relationship was with the lyric. So it could be direct, it could be from different angles, but they had to decide as a collective, what was their perspective on the lyric and what does that feel like? So it was really about the process, and there were no designated band leaders, and there were 2 groups meeting at a time. So I would kind of hop back and forth between the 2 rooms. And then in the afternoon, I had another 2 groups. And then the next day they played for each other at the end of the 6 hours. And it was so cool. It was
Wow.
like the first hour was absolute chaos. I'd go, it was like almost like a reality TV show. How's it going? How y'all doing? And they're all like, we haven't played a single note. You have a song. You have a song, but it's, I put up some little bits of their clips up on Instagram. When they were performing for each other.
That's cool.
It was so great. It was really hip just to see, like, you know, who comes out in those kind of group things.
Yeah.
To see how they were able to do stuff. And sometimes there were like really great harmonic ideas from the piano player and the guitar player. And, you know, they were trying to figure out how to decide what that was. So I'd always go to the vocalist. What makes it easier for you to sing? Is it this set of changes or is it that set? Is it helping you tell the story? Does it give you more freedom in the music? Or is it locking you into something? And so it was really cool that, you know, the singer was able to have a little more power in the group and be able to say, okay, well, man, if I don't sing it precise, then, you know, then it's not going to work. But if these other set of changes, I can express myself more freely and maybe choose some other notes in a more enveloped sort of thing. So that was really cool. And also for the instrumentalists, for them to go like, oh, I had no idea what the song was about.
Yeah.
So that was really
That's great. That's great. Really great on so many different levels. You probably bore some arrangers too in that, you know, I mean, you start becoming aware of that and get good at it. Singers are going to hire you to be the arranger, you know?
Yeah. But it was so great just to see them do that as a group thing. And, you know, it was nice. We also had some time at the end to talk about, you know, what were the struggles, what were the, you know, what are the things that you can take with you? Because the whole idea wasn't to have a product, but it was to have a process.
Yes.
So that was fun. I enjoyed that. But I mean, before that, I mean, the last time I was in a classroom with anybody was, the tour, my last tour in the US, that was with Andy Langham. We did a duo tour.
Oh yeah, right.
We hit everywhere. It was like the educational tour. I worked with everything from kindergartners to university students at UNT in Texas. So yeah, that was great because it was everything from improv workshops to, you know, singers and presentations and concerts and all sorts of things. So
cool.
But that was February a year ago.
Yes, it was. My, how time flies. Taylor Hatch is here.
Hey, Taylor.
Said it's great to see you. And is there a record you've worked on or played on that you're most proud of? And is there a record you wish could have been better?
I mean, I feel like all the projects, as soon as I get done recording them, I think I could do better. Because it's in that process of recording that you become a better musician. Yeah. And then because it's so concentrated in play and listen and play and listen.
Yeah.
And with this one, I mean, we really, with the luxury of doing it all at home, we did the rhythm section tracks together. And then I got to do the vocals later. I would come in and, you know, because we just have Morton's little man cave studio. And so I'd go in and try something. And some days I'd go in there and I'd be like, yeah, you need to not do that today.
Yeah.
Get back later. And some days I'd be like, you know, let's try it. And then I would do 3 songs. And then I'd come back a week later and do them again because I could do better.
Yeah.
But there is a point where you kind of have to cut it off and say, okay, that's
yeah, there is a point.
Yeah. So I think, you know, it's kind of a mix. I always feel like I can do better, but you also have to kind of embrace as an artist, like this is only a snapshot of where you are at this point in time.
Yes.
There may be different stories you would want to tell, but that's for another project, you know? So, I'm really proud of all the work that we've done over the years. And, you know, it's always been the best that I could do. So
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, for the most part, I'm okay and happy with, projects. One or two songs make me squirm. But that's not a bad percentage, one or two songs.
Yeah.
And I have actually gone in and repaired songs and afterwards not really been happy with that either. And recently, like just now, actually, I decided to spend money on a bigger computer so that I could really use Logic, and so that I am going to save money, because what I'm going through this project, like I have this project of 60s to the 90s music, and I have two bands. I have one band is Anthony Wilson and Josh Nelson and Lorca Hart and Edwin Livingston.
You couldn't get anybody good, huh?
I know. That was such a great
Those
band.
guys are great.
And then the other band is Carrie Frank and Steve Haas, Alec, the bass player, Alex. Oh shoot, his name he's Australian or from New Zealand.
Oh, and playing with Mercer and.
He's younger. Oh, Dan. Help. I forget his name for some reason. Anyway, and Will Brom and Nick Mancini. So that was the other band. So some of the music is thank you, Alex Bonham. Thanks, Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Really good player. But there's some of the music I really feel like I have to kind of thin out so I can sing and feel free, because really I know myself and I actually do best when I'm feeling free and I have space around me, Yeah. But to think of doing that in the studio, I was kind of afraid because, like you were just saying, I don't know how it's going to be when I go in the studio. I'll do what I do, and I need some time to kind of do it and then come back and do it and come back. So this investment, I think, is a really good idea. And then I can just use the stems from the studio, and so I'm just getting into that now, except I don't have my computer yet, but I'm getting into that with GarageBand just to feel that out.
Yeah.
And the studio is such a unique performing situation. It's so different than live performing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just so, I mean,
and I feed so much off the energy of everybody in the room, and
yeah, you're in the moment and you're feeding off of that. I know.
Yeah. But
I have to say, Mon and Josh Nelson did a live feeling duo. It was very reacting to each other, and each of them was, did their beautiful thing, and it's really a good recording. Speaking of Mon, because he's here. Hi, Mon. And but yeah, I think it's it's really challenging to be in the studio. It really is, or it can be anyway.
I'm finding it more fun that we're doing it here at home. I also am really proud of my husband because he has learned all this stuff. I mean, he's got great ears and he mixes my live shows anyway, but like all the details and all the things that I just don't even want to use my brain space for, just to think about like separation between the speakers and where the sounds sit, are the drums here, or are they there, or where's the voice in the middle of all that? And he has learned so much and has talked with like the best engineers here in Denmark and people that, I mean, he's got this broad community of wonderful sound guys that he's been working with. They'll send a file to him. What do you think? And, they'll get the feedback about, like where things should be sitting in the sound space. And I was
Your new stuff sounds great. It's
If
beautiful.
I had to do all that myself, it would never get done, or I would kill somebody. I think there's just a point where, I want to listen and I want to get better. But when it's like all the nuance of, bringing out the highs, there's certain things where I'd rather spend my energy. And I'm really happy that I'm married to someone who loves all that.
Doing that, yeah. Is he in the same room right now?
Morton?
We should bring him in a little bit. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Come on in, babe.
Here's the genius man, Morton. Hi, Martin. Martin.
I get to cut these little pieces of Kristin into 2-second sections and then loop them over and over and over and over and over again. And I still enjoy it.
Martin, just tell the audience and me, I only know a little bit, but what's your background? Besides being humorful.
My original education is in international business and languages.
Oh.
And then I worked for an engineering company. And while I was doing that, they had a department that was making microphones. So since I was playing music, I ended up in that department, luckily, and they transferred me to their US subsidiary to work on distribution in the US. And while I was there, they fired everybody in that department. It was a reasonably big company. But anyways, they fired everybody in that department because it was just such a small part of their business. And then I came back to Denmark and I suggested to the owner that I should take over that department and continue development, service, and sales. And I would team up with the development manager who was fired at that time. And we succeeded in getting that contract. And I started then DPA microphones, and that was back in 1992. And built that up over the next 20 years and sold it off a few years ago. And now I am just doing consulting work for other companies. I'm on the board of companies, and I do a little microphone consulting for other people. And then I work in the studio here in the house where I work with I use Studio One 5, and I have some great gear, really nice, good Neumann 310 speakers. And someone was chiming in on here in the comments, was there a DPA microphone used during Christmas recording? Nothing but. And we're using a great preamp converter from another Danish company called Rostec, LMA8 it's called. Fantastic gear. So we have great gear, and then we got great musicians, and
video-wise,
then I'm enjoying that. Video-wise, for the streaming, we're using the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro Extreme ISO, which is a new piece of gear.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just learning that. I've never seen so many tutorials in my life. And then we got a few cameras for that. We'll probably run 5 cameras here up in a couple of weeks when we do the streaming. Yeah. And all of that goes into to DaVinci Resolve at the end, and then I do some editing there, and then we can post it again afterwards on YouTube.
Wow. And interesting. So you obviously are drawn to work in the studio type of field, right? Because otherwise you couldn't do all that and enjoy yourself and do a good job. So, did you say you played also?
I play piano.
Oh.
Sometimes when Kristin's got some new stuff, I get to play around with it and how much I can destroy it. Then I take piano lessons from her, the piano player in her band, Mama's Jolt.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that was the first thing when I bought this house 26 years ago. The first thing I bought, because I didn't really have anything when I moved in, was a grand piano. And that has evolved over time. And then when I left DPA, I took the piano at DPA with me because we have a studio. So we have
nice.
We have a good Bösendorfer 225 sitting here.
Huh. Cool.
Good little Austrian box.
I guess you guys think the world of Alan Goldman's piano, huh?
Alan's got a great piano. I think he's with us there.
Yeah, he's probably still here, I would assume.
He's got a next time.
He loves you guys. He's like your family.
He is family.
He is family, yes.
I hate to be corny, but how did you guys meet?
We met on the jazz cruise.
Oh.
I was one of those all-star groups where they did the mix and match.
Yeah.
And he was doing sound on the big stage.
Oh.
We met and
I was down on one knee and said, "Can I put this microphone on your bass?" And she looked at me and said, "That's the worst pickup line I've ever heard."
Really?
I was just doing my job.
yeah. A bended knee, holding it up like a ring. It's like, oh my God.
Was it kind of love at first sight, or at least interest at first sight?
So it grew on us as the minutes went on.
Yeah, he was looking at me funny on that first night. So I was like, what's up with this guy?
And then, then we met at the bar later, and I was just sitting with all the guys that I knew. And she said, "What are you doing here with my friends?" I said, "Well, these are all my friends." So we had so many people in common.
Oh, really?
And we've been to so many different concerts in LA that, without knowing each other.
Never ever met.
Wow.
So we started, we were traveling back and forth between LA and Denmark for about a year and a half, to start with few weeks in between, 6 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks. And then eventually she came over on the 1st of April, flew into Copenhagen, and the day before actually. And I was in the office on the 1st, and she came over, and I said, well, we gotta go. "Oh, where are we going?" "Well, you know the place." So
we have an appointment.
Yeah, I had secretly packed a little bag and put in the car, and we drove off and went back to the airport where she just got from.
I was like,
and I gave her her passport and said, "Hey, we're heading out of here." So we went to Paris and went down to Paris, checked into the hotel, and then walked up to the Eiffel Tower, which was just around the corner. And just as we got there, it lit up.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
It did. And it was
he
amazing.
had it timed.
It was amazing what you can arrange for money. And and we walked up, and I again fell down on one knee there, and with a ring. And,
oh my God.
"Will you marry me?" And she was standing there, "Oh my God." And I remember I said, "Take the ring." And there was a German couple standing right behind us, and they were taking pictures.
Oh.
And they sent them to us later on.
Oh.
I saw those pictures just like 2 weeks ago. They showed up on my computer.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And so that was the decision. That also was the decision to move there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that took a few months before we actually, we ended up getting married in Santa Barbara.
Oh.
Because I used to spend some time in Santa Barbara many, many years ago.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my second home in the U.S. And so we got married on Butterfly Beach on the 26th. And then And then I think we had a day or two together then. And then I went back to Denmark, and Kristin started going around to do camps for forever. 6
It
months.
was like
6 months it felt like.
No, it was.
Oh my God.
It was 4 weeks. Yeah, I dropped off at the airport and just kept driving up the coast to like Golden Gate Base Camp and Lafayette Summer Music Workshop and stuff like that.
What year was this?
11.
And she ended up
Yeah. And we did Disc Cancel. We got married on a Tuesday, and then we ended up playing Disc Cancel Gardens on Thursday. And then I think Friday is when I dropped you off at the airport.
Yeah. Then she ended her travels in Rochester,
New York.
Oh.
New York, for some ISB meeting of some kind. And I do all our travel plans. So I knew all her travel plans and all her flights and everything. And I knew that the one that she was going on from Rochester to Toronto was canceled. And that means
Because of weather. It was a weather issue.
Can you imagine? You've been away from each other for 4 weeks after getting married, and then she's going to miss that plane getting home? No way. So I called her and said, you got to get up to the airport. I rented a car. You're driving to Toronto. And she got in a taxi and drove up from Rochester to Toronto like a bat out of somewhere.
Without GPS. So we were talking on the phone, and he could see where I was. I was like, I would tell him like the exits. All right, well, in another X number of miles, you're gonna see this exit. Take this.
This was before any Apple device could tell you anything. I think we were on Skype probably at that time.
Yeah.
But as soon as she hit the Canadian border, there was no connection. So
I was like, oh.
But anyway, she made it to Toronto.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
And then, how long after that did you move, Kristin?
Well, that was the move.
Was it?
I packed up because we got married, and then I finished packing up the apartment. And when I left, that was it.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah. So, I sold the car. I mean, it was like everything, just one thing at a time. Just, the guys moved all the stuff. It was like the first part of August. They packed up all the boxes, which I didn't see for another 3 months because it took the slow boat to Denmark. Different song.
They got the stamp from Argentina. Went through the Suez.
So yeah, but yeah, that all, like, once it all kind of came down, it was, checking things off the boxes and yeah, that was wild.
So coming up to now, so we know that you have the studio, you're recording the records there, and you're going to do a streaming coming up. And is the travel, is that locked down now? So you're not really out and traveling around, like not just locally, but outside of local?
We're nowhere. We're here.
No, we did. In fact, we did a live stream from a Danish town called Ribe, which is about 3.5, 4 hours from here, at a club called Termensens. Martin Schack, was a wonderful Danish piano player. He has that series. But we had to drive there to do the concert because they have the cameras and they've invested in streaming. Yeah. So,
excuse me for a second.
Hey there.
A few more minutes.
Okay. You're doing the yard round. Was that bothering you?
Yes, that was.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and get him to go to the backyard first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I'll yeah. We have a new gardener, and who doesn't realize how important I am before 2:00. I mean, So yeah. Anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah, so like we went to Ribe, and we had thought, oh man, it's been so long since we've traveled. It's like, oh, let's maybe stay a couple extra days. We can do something, because explore a little bit of Jutland, and because it's beautiful there. And I mean, it's like there were no restaurants open. If you get your breakfast at the hotel, you have to eat it up in the room. I mean, everything was locked down. And that was 4 weeks ago now. 4 weeks ago.
something like that.
And now they're starting to open up more so people can eat in restaurants now.
They can do that, yeah.
That was this last week that started. But travel out of the country,
I think you need to have a reason to get out.
Yeah. I mean, if you have like work, when I went to teach up in Sweden, I had to have like, a paper from the school saying that I was there to teach. I had to have my COVID passport, with the recent test and all that. So
yeah,
that was, so it's not really much.
It's getting closer.
Yeah.
I will get my first shot here in 2 or 3 weeks. So we're a little behind here.
Interesting. Very interesting life right now. It's I can't wait to get a little older and look back on history. Yeah, that was a really interesting time. Good thing we're not doing that anymore, That's what I can't wait for.
Have you found, like, in this pandemic time, have you had any pleasant surprises or changes in your life that you really appreciate for the positive?
Yes, actually several big ones. Well, one thing is this show, you are number 274. And I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed speaking with people. It's very inspirational. It makes me feel very connected to everybody on the planet. It makes me also feel like musicians are so important for humankind, and I feel like that is getting more acknowledged, because it's all over the internet, and so there's a lot of great feelings. In fact, I'm going to write a book about it, and I'm going to look at each one, each hang, and take stuff that jumps out at me, that affected me. So that is really beautiful. I've kind of re-met. I mean, you and I don't think we've ever sat and talked for 2 hours.
No. And we've been at a lot of parties together.
I know.
It probably would be a cumulative 2 hours.
Exactly. So people like yourself who I know, but and then people I don't know at all who have been referred or I've discovered somehow. And so it's been really wonderful. And then like when I went out and sang, I felt some wonderful awarenesses. I felt like, first of all, I had grown. Like I was on maybe whatever, a year ago, I was this level. And then somehow, magically, because it wasn't from singing a lot, right? Now I'm on this level, and I've opened up more, and there have been some things that happen while I'm singing that I'm really appreciating a lot. It feels really good. And it's not only about me. I have decided that it's about the group awareness, not the bands and the audience. I feel like we're all kind of on that. I mean, I'm a very positive person. I'm the glass half full, Yeah. And I'm sure there's other people, who have different viewpoints or hear me say that and go, yeah, whatever, It's a little foo-foo for me, but that's what I feel. And I also, for me personally, I have realized again, after almost 20 years, that my husband and I really like each other. And, when you're busy all the time, right? And you're going out and hearing music or you're doing gigs or whatever, of course, that you love your mate. But when you're home together and it's every day, you really see if it's like a real relationship,
Yeah.
So that for me too. How about you? What do you think? Do you see good stuff because of it?
Yeah. I mean, my appreciation of the forest across the street has been immense. The whole like just awareness of nature in general.
Yeah.
Just to slow down enough.
Yeah.
To just really take it in, and especially like right now where the leaves are just starting to unfold in the trees.
Yeah.
And just even mess around with the phone and just try to take pictures like how small can I see things. And we've had noticing the nature in the backyard, the family of mice underneath the bush, and the deer that tried to eat our tree one year, and we've got fox that wander around every once in a while. The birds, Morton has got multiple bird feeders out, so get to see the kinds of birds that are hanging out. I mean, just like really little non-musical things, but just kind of allowing oneself to be present in the world, I think has been like a really big thing.
Yeah, life, right? Yeah, it's just, and it's interesting. I mean, I remember when I stopped doing the jam session for all those years, stopped. And then I was no longer the jam queen, and I was a singer again. And it was a different reality. And I that was one of the times I realized after I had stopped something that I was doing a lot of, how much of my reality and everybody's reality of me was in there, and then all of a sudden it's like a fresh new start. So I feel like we can start new things now and take time and look around and be in the moment and do different things. I just found out a friend of mine actually several friends of mine have moved totally out of state. And I just heard about another person. I don't think they would have done that if it hadn't been for the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel really lucky. I mean, that we are where we are, that we have each other, that we, I still feel like we're kind of in kind of a perpetual honeymoon phase. We do, we're this is how we are all the time. So, whether it's cooking together or, I don't really do so much yard work together.
You did to start with.
I did to start with,
I don't
and
know
then
what happened.
That's
I
fun.
try. I usually make at least one effort this
She
season.
does the lawn. Well, she says she does the lawn mowing out front.
It's got to be dry enough in order to do it.
That's true.
It's
Yes,
been
it's got
very
to be
wet.
dry. Yeah.
So, but it's just but I feel we have it so good. We've been healthy. Our families are healthy. We have so much to be thankful for.
Yeah, that's great.
That, there are a lot of people that have had a lot of suffering in this. And,
Yeah.
For whatever discomfort we felt in this, it's more first world discomforts.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't go on and on because we could talk more about that. There are things, not for my own life, but for other people that I feel bad for, especially like people who are in the hospital who can't get visitors. And, that whole area's, I just feel so sad about. Bye, Morton. We're going to go anyway, but thank you. Thanks for being on. Yeah. So Kristin, so I'm going to end here. And so thank you so much for spending 2 hours and hanging out. It's been really fun.
Thank you. It's been great to actually get 2 hours with you. Well,
I know. It's a miracle.
We'll meet up again at Allen's when we're able to travel again. And
yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all that you do to keep us all connected. And
oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Tomorrow I'm going to have Tom Breckline on.
Okay.
And he's Tom Breckline, for those of you who don't know, Tom Breckline is an amazing drummer. He played with Chick Corea, Robin Ford, a bunch of people, and he is one of the great drummers And then Thursday through Sunday, I have archives. So I'm going to have Dwight Tribble on Thursday.
Nice.
John and David Joyce.
Oh, yeah.
And on Friday, on Saturday, the one and only Brad Dutz, percussion. And Sunday, the great blues singer and pianist Teresa James. And just for you guys' information, Dominic Eade, the great jazz singer from New England, she's going to be on Monday live. Mike Greensill, do you know Mike Greensill, the pianist?
Yeah, from the Bay Area.
Yeah. So he's one of those classic pianists who have accompanied great singers. And so he's going to be on Tuesday. And then an old friend of mine who's been a producer and piano player, David Diggs, he's going to be on Wednesday. So I have lots of people lined up and almost finished booking June. So it's going to be continuous. And for those of you in the LA area, if you want to come out to the jam session, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 15th, I'll be at the conference room again. And you can look at my website for that. Kristin Korb. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. And my love, big hug to you.
And you too. Thank you.
Bye.